Yeah, this is a really good question because it gets to the heart of it, right? If anyone we meet outside of Snow was gonna remember Lucy Gray, it would be Mags. But I don't think she did. Mag is from one of the four districts Snow identifies as tending to do well in the games. He says 1 and 2 tend to do the best, and 4 and 11 are also contenders. All of this is pretty directly linked to their access to food. And in Ballad, what we see from the District 4 tributes is that they form a pact to hunt down other tributes. We don't know what 1 and 2 usually do because they all try to escape when the amphitheater is bombed, but we do know that the strategy we're seeing from 4 was pretty effective because they survived long into the games despite one of them only being 13. So Max has probably seen at least one victor from 4 come back, and she would know exactly how anonymous that person remained even in their own district. She may well have not even been able to name previous victors from other districts. I'm sure that when she got to the capital, there would have been some talk about the girl from the previous year who won, who was a singer, but I don't think it would have been so significant that it really would have stuck. At this point, Max has seen dozens and dozens of games, and those were games that she was forced to watch. I wonder if the districts even had some nostalgia about the years before Mags won, the 1st through 10th games, because while the Hunger Games were still hanging over their heads, they weren't being shoved in everyone's face in the same way. In Ballad, after Snow is exiled to District 12 to be a peacekeeper, he quickly gets nicknamed Gent by some of his fellow peacekeepers. It says, Coriolanus welcomed the nickname because the last thing he wanted to hear was the name Snow. None of his bunkmates commented on it, though, or made any mention of the Hunger Games. It turned out the enlisted only had access to one television in the rec room, and the reception proved so poor it was rarely on. If Beanpole had seen Coriolanus in the capital, he hadn't made the connection between the Hunger Games mentor and the grunt beside him. Perhaps no one recognized him because no one expected him to be there. Or perhaps his celebrity had only extended to the academy and a handful of unemployed in the capital who'd had time to follow the drama. And later on, after Sejanus gets there, some of the other peacekeepers are talking about going to the Hob to see a concert. The only thing a peacekeeper who originally came from District 8 says is that the singer will be Lucy somebody. They do eventually put together who it is, but it's clear that they didn't follow the games. It's just, oh, I guess she must have survived them if she's back. And while 12 is definitely the smallest and at this point probably still the poorest district, it's still noteworthy that Maud Ivory says that they were able to watch Coriolanus either before or during the games one night when they used a lot of tinfoil on the TV. Apparently, it's usually static, and most people don't even have a TV in the first place. And again, Snow has had the opportunity to talk to peacekeepers who are from other districts. His takeaway is that people in the districts just are not watching the games, and he's talking to Gaul about how to make the games more effective and saying that viewing should be compulsory in the districts. He has no reason to lie. And that does make sense, right? Even people in the capital weren't really watching. That's part of why they switched things up and did the whole mentor system and the interviews and the sponsor gifts in the first place. The games seemed to have been on the verge of being cancelled, and Gaul needed something to make it more exciting. And we also know that Mags wouldn't have seen replays because those games were never replayed. The tapes were all erased, partly because of Lucy Gray, but Dr. Gall's motivation is less personal. She doesn't care about Lucy Gray. What she cares about is all of the Capital kids who were mentors and didn't survive because that made the Capital look weak. And that all on its own is a very good reason for them to avoid drawing attention to those games whenever they can. I don't think anyone would be surprised if some previous victors just weren't around anymore, especially victors from outside their district. They have enough to worry about. Why are they going to think about kids who are the reason some of their kids never came home? So yeah, like to us, having read 4 of these books and having had a front row seat to District 12's experiences in 3 games, it's easy to remember individuals and individual victors and the ways we saw the games evolve in Ballad. But Max has all of this spread over 65 years, with it happening every single year, and she had very limited information about the years before hers, including the 10th games, as opposed to being present for a lot of them. The Capital wouldn't be going out of its way to remind people about what happened in the 10th games, because again, they do make the Capital look kind of weak. Max might remember seeing in the Reaping in the year before her that there was a girl who sang when she was chosen and put a snake down someone's dress, and she'd probably hear somewhere along the way that the girl ended up being the victor of the games, but I don't think Lucy Gray would occupy any major place of importance in her memory because what significance does Lucy Gray have to her, you know?